Good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and I want to play you a little bit of a Midas Touch video that might scare the shit out of you. This is what I've been afraid of all along, and thank God we've got some military higher-ups who are smart enough to say no to Trump. It's amazing. The man is totally insane. He wants to destroy the world. He wants to be rich, but he wants to destroy the world. Guy's a fool.
Donald Trump was blocked from accessing the nuclear codes by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, this past weekend as Donald Trump was ranting and raving like a lunatic and panicking in the Situation Room. And the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane, apparently told Donald Trump, "Get the hell out of here. We're not giving you the code. Stop talking about nuclear weapons." Now, this is according to the Mirror. The source that they cite is a former CIA analyst. And I'm going to show you in a moment what this former CIA analyst says that his sources told him about this moment in the White House where the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dan Kane, told Donald Trump, "Stop talking about nuclear weapons. You can't access the nuclear codes." And now, while this may seem like a salacious story, and perhaps it is, when you see what Donald Trump has been doing with nuclear testing and with nuclear weapons over the past few months, it's actually not that far-fetched. And so before sharing with you what this CIA analyst is saying that his sources tell them, because you may go, "Come on, Ben, does this CIA analyst really have these sources?" Before showing you that, let me just show you Donald Trump's own words over the past 6 to 9 months, and let me share with you the words of Donald Trump's Undersecretary of State for Arms Control. Also talk about how they are interpreting Donald Trump's command that nuclear weapons testing occur in the United States immediately. And I know with all of the distractions that Donald Trump throws everybody's way, this is one of those stories that, just happened on a random Wednesday, if you will. But Donald Trump claimed that China and Russia were involved in nuclear testing. What they were involved in was testing regarding weapons capable of delivering nuclear arms and nuclear material, but there wasn't actually a nuclear test where the underlying nuclear material itself was used, because that would probably register with our intelligence community. And so Donald Trump, again, not just shooting from the hip, but hearing things and then interpreting it in a way that's so dangerously wrong. So before sharing with you this incident that allegedly occurred this weekend, first let me share with you what this guy, Thomas DiNanno, who's Donald Trump's Undersecretary of State for Arms Control, he said that the United States has not yet decided how to implement Donald Trump's order to resume U.S. nuclear weapons tests. We're still assessing it. We've made no decision specifically on how or what any testing program would look like. Now, you would think that this would be a front page story, right? You would think everybody would know about it. But let me show you the clip. Let's play it.
Thank you, Senator. Look, couple points to make. Number one, we're still assessing. We've made no decision specifically on how or what any testing program would look like. So that's pre-decisional. If the administration comes to that decision, I'm sure we'd happy to come back and talk to you.
And what that is in response to is what took place in October of 2025 when Donald Trump was aboard Air Force One. And Trump's like, "Yeah, we're going to do testing." Here's what Donald Trump said. Let's play it.
Are you talking about literally resuming underground nuclear detonation tests?
You'll find out very soon, but we're going to do some testing, yeah. Other countries do it. If they're going to do it, we're going to do it.
Okay, you can't clarify whether you will resume.
I'm not going to say yet. I mean, I know exactly what we're doing, where we're doing it, but other countries are doing it, and if other countries do it, we do it.
And throughout the end of last October, he kept on saying this over and over again. Nuclear testing. He said, Xi Jinping, Putin, they're telling me they're doing nuclear testing, so I got to do nuclear testing. Here, play this clip.
About resuming nuclear testing, what prompted you to do that right before the meeting?
It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing. testing. We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. We've halted it many years ago. But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
Any details around the testing, sir? Like where, when?
It'll be announced. We have test sites. It'll be announced.
And here is how a military intelligence officer, Scott Ritter, former military intelligence officer, described the situation of what went down there. Let's play this clip.
My take is that the United States of America is governed by one of the dumbest men in the world, who doesn't understand the power of words. And before he speaks on topics such as this, he should probably get better briefed. This is a man who was told that the Russians had carried out 2 nuclear tests, one of the Burevestnik nuclear-powered cruise missile and the other of the Poseidon nuclear-powered underwater drone. Both of these are, nuclear capable, meaning they can carry nuclear warheads. But the tests were of the nuclear propulsion systems. And so, he somehow in his brain decided that he was going to call these nuclear weapons tests. No, they're tests of nuclear delivery vehicles that happen to be nuclear powered. Maybe that's just too many nuclears for Trump's brain to handle. But the bottom line is, he spoke out and said, they're doing tests, so I'm going to order tests. Now, here's the important part. He said, I'm going to order the Secretary of War, that would be Pete Hegseth, to carry out a nuclear weapons test similar to what was done.
Well, there it is. Over the weekend, the top general threw Trump out of the Situation Room because he was talking about using nuclear weapons. And he apparently wouldn't let him get near the controls to fire the weapons. And then you have the little-known story that Trump has been trying to get nuclear warhead testing going again, which would mean that the state of New Mexico would glow in the dark, which is where the tests were done before, or Utah, New Mexico, Nevada. Those states that have large deserts were where the tests were done. And they're extremely dangerous, and they take an area and ruin it for human habitation for quite a while. So this is JC saying, thank God cooler heads are prevailing over Trump and his stupidity. This is JC saying, fuck you, Trump. Go cornhole yourself. And to everybody else who's a decent human being and a good person and follower, thank you. And pock some more Jack and keep on trucking.